Today's video, we're going to talk about call-only campaigns, something that I don't use too often. There are individual times where it does actually make more money than having a non-call-only campaign. But the main topic that I'm going to talk about in today's video is, do you need a landing page or decent site to send them to along with your call-only campaign in order to get the real results out of it, bring out every dollar of profit out of it? And when I say a real landing page or site, I mean, because ultimately what I see people doing and why I made this video here today is they'll set up a really crappy one-page thrown together website for the call-only campaign that they want to run. Because let's face it, the reason why people love call-only campaigns, that I've seen anyway, is because they're quick and they don't take much effort to set up. Nobody's going to the website. I don't need a good website. I don't even need that great of ad writing skills. I can just throw my number up there, and I'm going to tell you right off the bat that yes, your website, the quality of your website is going to change or impact the amount of money you're making out of your ad traffic though at the end of the day. And the main reason for that is because people do actually go to your website and check it out. Not necessarily though when the person initially calls or before they call. It's after they call where they're going to check out your website. And obviously the more you're going to spend, more likely they're going to have to check out the website before they go ahead and close the deal with you. So you may get them to call, but closing the deal with them after you get them the quote with a shitty website, it's going to be way more difficult to do, if at all possible. Because people judge a book by its cover. If you have a crappy website, they assume your product or service is also crappy. Just like you would go into a bookstore and assume a book with a shitty cover is going to be a shitty book. It could be the best content in the world. Nobody's going to give it a shot unless you also invested in that cover. A website is like the cover for your business. If you're wondering how much this impacts your bottom line here, a decent landing page or site versus a crappy one, we know because we've actually ran a call-only campaign and just upgraded the website by itself and then got another 10 to 30% extra ROI out of our campaign. Notice that ROI, like I mentioned before, you're going to not just have to see the impact on the number of calls you get, but of the calls you get, what's the impact on the closing rate of those calls? Because that's where the gain comes from when you upgrade a quick thrown together website just to get your campaign up and out to having a decent website that has a lot of trust in it. And naturally, people don't actively think this way, but they know a cheap website from a really expensive website just by looking at it and how professional and credible it looks. Just like you know I guess this is the perfect example, but an expensive piece of artwork and a cheap one. There's a reason why, certain artwork is expensive. People can see that quality. Well, it's the same thing with a website. They could look at a website and know if you spent $50 on it or $50,000. In order to get the full conversion rates and closing rates on the leads that you're developing, you need to be able to get that user to understand that you have a quality company that offers quality products and services, and you do that by also making sure your website conveys that message or thought as well. So with that said, the website that you show on your call-only ad has a pretty big impact on how much money you're going to make with that call-only campaign. And if you're running a call-only campaign today, you should, not tomorrow, but get on it today, starting to put something together that's going to be quality. And by the way, you can't just simply say when you get them on the call, you're going to redirect them to your real website or whatnot, because that's not good enough. It's sketchy to send them to a whole other website. It's got to be the website on the ad to be able to close that deal at a decent rate. So if you want the extra 20% of extra sales and ROI you can get, you need to go ahead and put that work in. That said, I wanted to also talk about something else here. I mentioned at the very start of this video that there's times where a call-only campaign is the way to go. A majority of the time, a call-only campaign isn't the way to go because a majority of the people in your niche market are going to expect to want to check out your website before they even call. To know, going back to that people judge a book by its cover thing, they want to know, does it look like you're a legitimate organization to invest the time of even getting a quote or even calling to begin with? They want to investigate your landing page. A lot of times they want to go to browse around your website, make sure it looks like you're a credible organization that they'd be willing to part with their money with given that there are other options out there in the market on Google for them to pick from. So they don't need to just, naturally sometimes you're the only option, and hey, in that case, you don't necessarily need to. But to give you an example of different markets where call-only campaigns would do better than having a regular campaign where you're going to send them to your website and hopefully get them to call from your website. I mean, naturally with the call-only asset, the call asset on a regular search ad, they can still call from the ad. And so a lot of people will, depending on the niche market. But the main idea is to get them to go to your website and then call there, unless you're talking about something like towing, where most of the people are just going to call from the ad. That said, if you want to know some example markets where the call-only campaign did better than the regular search campaign, we are talking about specifically with tour company, insurance, specialized insurance that people need right away, car insurance, limo rentals are all markets where a call-only campaign actually would do better. Why is that? They have the 4 key traits that make it better, to where call-only ads can actually do better than non-call-only campaigns. First of which is intangible offer. What you offer is not a product. Products, you want to see what the product looks like. If you're offering a service, there's nothing to look at. So I can call and have a salesperson describe to me what you're offering, and that's for the most part good enough. So services, also low variability in product or service. So in other words, if what you're offering is like commodity, for the most part, people are just going to mainly be paying attention to and buying on price, then a call-only campaign is fine because they don't need to go to your website to see if you're the cheapest, okay? Third, it's an impulse buy. The more of an impulse buy that it is, like a towing, like a car insurance where you need it right away, the more likely a call-only campaign will actually outperform a search campaign, because if it's a commodity, they want a cheap price and they need it now, you're actually saving them time from having to go to the website, and they can just call directly from the ad. And you're actually helping the user out in that point in time. This is actually how call-only campaigns are supposed to be used, not to try to save time from setting up a website, which is what most people use call-only campaigns for. And then the fourth factor is it being under $1,000 in cost. Why? Because a decision for a $50 a month car insurance plan, people can make a split decision on that and don't need to go to a website before they're comfortable with calling and starting to negotiate on pricing and so forth. And the cheaper it is, the more likely they're willing and satisfied just to call from that ad. I gave that example in the towing space. It's a $60 tow. They know it. They don't need to go to a website and investigate you inside and out before they're willing to call. Therefore, the call-only campaign works. And the more expensive whatever you offer is, the more likely they're going to go to the website either before they call, but more so even after they call, and on the call-only campaign. And when you're talking about regular search campaign, the more likely that website's going to have a big factor into whether or not they want to call at all itself. So I wanted to throw this extra information in here about call-only campaigns because I see people using them wrong all the time. They're using it to save time and effort in getting a campaign running. And they say, well, I'm trying to get calls. Why don't I just run a call-only campaign? That's what they're for, right? Right? And the reality is, no, that's not necessarily what they're for. They're for markets where people legitimately only want to call. So a call-only campaign is kind of like, can't think of the right word of how to describe this, but that's legitimately what it's for. For when you only need to call, not, hey, we're saving time setting up the website. We want them to call. But what the user wants is to go to the website, look around, and then call, and they want both of those things. When you rip away the element of them being able to do the background research, they're just going to be not willing to call. Because what people stupidly believe is, oh, well, if I just get rid of the website, they're going to call at a higher rate because there's less chance that they're going to see something on the website or whatnot. That makes them not want to call, or they'll get tired or distracted or whatever. The reality is, it's just like, asking a girl if she wants to marry you overnight. I mean, just asking quick is not going to make the likelihood that they're going to say yes to be higher. There's the courting process and then whatnot, and then the whole courting process is what gets your the likelihood of that person saying yes to be higher to begin with. To get that person the most likely to say yes to begin with, you have to put the work in. It's also the same thing with most other sales. The good salespeople, it's a seduction process. You're able to get that person so impressed that when you finally do ask for the sale, they're saying yes almost every time. Those are the best salespeople, but they couldn't just cut out the build-up process because that's not how it works. And crappy salespeople that are lazy will try to just cut out some of the steps. Oh, why do I need this step? Why do I need to do that? And at the end of the day, you're just cutting off your foot to save your hand there. Each individual step that you went through was a part of the closing rate that you got. And this should be thought of very similar to that. The website was a part of getting them to call. Cutting out the website doesn't make them more likely to call. So with that said, if you have any questions about anything I covered here, leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a question or comment on this channel, usually within 24 hours time. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, you should also subscribe, as the information I'm providing you on this channel is coming from somebody who spends 40 hours a week doing ad testing and strategy for dozens of different ad accounts that I'm responsible for in getting more profitability from on an ongoing basis, which is unique because 99% of the other so-called gurus on YouTube, on the web, talking about how to make money with ads are not running ads, and therefore the information is just as totally crap or not useless at all. So if you're going to pay attention to anybody, you might as well at least pay attention to and subscribe to this channel because it's the best information you're going to find, and I can say that confidently. Beyond that, you can also find my blog, by the way, at guaranteedppc.com/blog. If you haven't checked that out, you should check that out as well, as the information there, if you like specific step-by-step processes that you can follow that just routinely are known to get results, you should check that out because that's exactly what it is that we have on my blog there. And with that, most of the people who see the blog actually like it even better than the channel, given it is so step-by-step, has screenshots, all of the stuff that you need to execute strategies, which are our go-to strategies at our firm to get guaranteed results for our clients' campaigns. I put them there for you guys to follow. So you should check that out as well. Beyond that, if you do want somebody to just use these strategies on your behalf, this is what we do for clients at our advertising firm, Guaranteed PPC. And we are the only firm out there that does not charge up front until you get a certain minimum lift in your profitability, whether that be 20, 50, 100%, what have you, which we would tell you up front that we could do for you before we charge a fee. The idea behind the guarantee is we lift your profitability at a certain minimum amount that will offset our fee before there is a fee, and then we'll start charging our fee after that. And that's our so-called guarantee that we offer at Guaranteed PPC. We don't offer it to just anybody, though. You got to have something we got to know, we can do well with, to agree to offer that to you to begin with. But if you want to see if we can offer it to you, all you got to do is reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com. I'd be happy to have a quick 30-minute chat or 15-minute chat to discuss what you're trying to do with your campaigns, what your business is like, and so forth, and see if there's a fit. As a side, we also sell ad templates. The ad templates we sell, basically what we do is we've worked in over 100 niche markets in the last 10 years running this advertising firm, Guaranteed PPC. With that, if we worked in your niche market before, you can take the winning ads, landing pages, campaigns, and all of that we've already developed for your niche market already and just copy and paste those into your account. We do sell those. We're not giving them away for free, and you wouldn't want us to give it away for free, otherwise it would make it watered down and saturated. But you can get the same exact results we got that we most of the time spent years building up to get to, basically overnight, because we can sell the exact funnel that we have for you to literally copy and paste in your account. Of course, there's a break-in period with anything that you're doing with ads on these platforms that are run by algorithms now. But there's nothing to learn. It's just a matter of breaking it in. You can get the same results we're getting, and without all the time, money, and effort we spent to figure out how to get those results. If you're interested in those, you can also reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com, and we'll let you know physically what results we got in your niche market already, or if you're looking to get into a new business, what we have available. There's literally turnkey business ideas there. That is, if you want to get into a business as quick and as cheap and as easy as possible, take one of our templates, generate leads, sell those leads. We've got several people that have used our templates to do that very thing already to date. Also, if you're trying to get into e-commerce, you can sell a commodity product that one of our clients sell, but in another country that they're not in, and have turnkey results with that and a turnkey business along with that to go along with it. If you're interested in any of those other opportunities, you can also reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com. With that said, I'll wrap everything up with that. And See you on the next one.